open only to the world's most lethal warriors.
200 Los Angeles police officers mustered.
Rambo.
Greetings, good people, and welcome to the show where we sit down with rad people who are doing rad things. On today's episode, we take flight into the universe of our guest music, talk psychedelic time travel, and the black hole where all of George R.R. Martins' ideas for the Winds of Winter go. But before we get into it, my name is Dread, and this is Computer Crane Kick. If you're at all enjoying the podcast, please consider subscribing. It will help me get more artists on the channel to keep creating these videos for you guys. But without a didgeridoo, let's get into things. Our guest today will take us on an adventure through time and space, with ambient music to watch the planets pass and absolute face melters for when things get heated. This is Taking Off with Aeronexus. Welcome to the show. Man, I'm super stoked to have you here. It's been a while in the making. Like, we've been talking for over a month, and just now we sat down with the time, so I'm stoked. Thanks for taking the time to come on the show, man. Thrilled to have you.
No, thanks for having me.
What are you drinking?
I'm drinking Captain Morgan's apple rum at the moment.
Hell yeah.
Cheers.
Apple rum. I got a honeymoon mead, which is called Ode to Odin. Look at this bottle. Look at that shit. Yeah, no, you gotta listen to this though. You ready? You ready for this?
Yeah, go on.
Oh, that's perfect.
I didn't hear it. It didn't pick up in your mic.
Oh, fuck. Nah. Oh, that's fucking the nectar of the gods, dude. Oh my god. You haven't tried any mead at all?
No.
You know, I don't blame you. I didn't really, get into mead until I was older and in my years, but I never liked wine before, so that's why I was hesitant on the mead situation myself. But I know you like a lot of fantasy, so I'm surprised you haven't, tried mead yet. That's why I got into it, is because I'm reading a lot of fantasy fiction, playing a lot of games. They're always drinking mead, I'm like fucking wanted to try it.
No, I know. To be fair, Skyrim came out when I was 11, and that's the one game I always associate mead with, so maybe that's probably a reason.
That's fair.
Why I've not tried it yet. And
yeah, 11's probably a little bit early to try mead, but
yeah, a little bit.
I don't know. I mean, all countries are different. Is it like, I heard in France they're okay with drinking wine when you're like 15 with dinner? Is that true? Or is that, you're closer to me than you're closer to me.
Well. I'm not actually sure. I've heard of it, and I think there's like a rule over here as well, but
yeah. What's the legal drinking age over there?
18. But
18.
Yeah, I think it's 18. Don't quote me on that. And then you need an ID, because they have a thing where it's like they ID check you if you don't look 21. It's like a weird rule.
But you can drink if you're 18, but they check your ID if you're under 21?
Yeah, it's probably because some 18-year-olds look really young.
Yeah. I still get ID'd sometimes when I'm buying booze, but more so when I have a mask on.
Yeah.
Because I'm wearing a mask and they can't see my mustache. And then I do this and they're like, oh, fuck. Yeah, there's no 19-year-old that has a fucking mustache like that.
It's a compliment.
Yeah, well, the last time some lady was like, you have young eyes. You have such young eyes. Exactly. Hey, so let's hop into some music chat, man. What got you into production? What first got you started in writing music?
I remember there was a little bit... I did a music class in high school, and they showed me music production. And I showed a little bit of interest, but not much. And then in 2013, I started to get into synthwave because of Far Cry Blood Dragon. And then in 2015-16, I started to decide to make synthwave, and I was like, oh, I'm going to make some ambient synthwave. So my early stuff was ambient, and that's what I was producing for a while. Was mostly based off Far Cry Blood Dragon.
Dude, that game's
I don't
wicked.
think I discovered any new acts until later on, but I remember Carpenter Brut's EP 3 or 2 coming out. But
Yeah.
I was still, that's what more got me into it, was the video game aspect.
Yeah, totally. So Far Cry 3 or Blood Dragon, that's Power Glove, right?
Yeah, it's a cracking soundtrack.
Yeah, dude, that soundtrack's wicked.
One of them I forgot to mention, my favourite film as a kid, and still is now, was Transformers the movie. And when I used to travel down to Plymouth, which is where my dad lives, he's right at the bottom end of the country, so it'd be long 6-hour drives. He would only play 80s music. He still kind of know what he does now. So when I heard Power Glove, I was like, this is sick. It's like Transformers, but new. That's like, I can't think of any better way to word it. So yeah, and then I was like, oh, I want to try and make it, and then I started off with me just messing around on GarageBand.
Yep.
On my phone, and then someone was like, why don't you get a laptop and try out another software? And eventually I did, and then it's where I am now.
Dude, that's super cool, because if you look at your first EP, Forever Drifting, it's like nothing like Power Glove. You know, it's very ambient, like space synth almost. To me, I got major Koji Kondo vibes, you know, like old school Super Mario N64 and like Ocarina of Time. I thought those were... I was picking up sounds for that, like those 3D exploration games that it's just very expressive.
Yeah, I've always thank you. I've always been a massive fan of Zelda, and for a while, when I grew up, I started collecting retro games. So I was just looking if I had any to show. I also started collecting retro games as well, so I took a lot of influence from retro old games like Zelda, and especially the SNES as well. The SNES has a lot of sounds that I loved, like Super Mario World, Link to the Past.
Yeah.
And I think those sounds are very, very good, and I still like to try and use them now, but there's a lot of really nice ambient songs from the N64 era, especially stuff like Donkey Kong 64, which had the amazing water level.
Oh yeah, I mean Donkey Kong is next level for water level sounds. Like aquatic ambience from the original Donkey Kong Country is one of my favorites from any game. Like the original Donkey Kong Country had such a good soundtrack. Like it had no right to be that good.
Yeah, it's something I'd actually want a physical edition of, just because I just love it.
Yeah.
It's like Mario 64's water level as well, the second level.
Dire Docks.
Dire Docks, that's it. That is such a good song as well. And there's something about...
amazing.
There's just something about water levels where people just make really good tracks for no reason.
It's because everybody fucking hates water levels, so they need a really good track to make people not hate the water level.
I remember I was stuck on the water temple for about 2 weeks on Ocarina of Time when I first played it, because I didn't do the whole temple in order, which is like, if you do it there, that like in the floors, you do it, but I just...
Well, those games, they don't hold your hands, man. They're not like, hey, do this temple first. That was like one of the first open world games, essentially, and it totally left you to figure shit out. I tried playing it again recently, as an adult, and I totally forgot to learn Epona's song before I became an adult, so I had to go back and go through the Temple of Time, become a kid, go back to the fucking ranch, learn Epona's song, and that's when I was like, man, how did I ever figure this shit out as a kid? Because there was no internet when I first was playing it, you know, it was just... I think they had that Nintendo Power. I don't even think that was a thing anymore, like the call line you could call into. I think it was basically... You know, you would get those books. They had those books that you could, yeah, dude, that's all you could get. Like there was no Googling if you were stuck in a game.
Yeah, I remember when we didn't have internet in our house, and I had a bunch of PS1 games, and I could never complete Rayman 2.
Yep.
Because I used to just get stuck. And Rayman 3 as well. We didn't have the internet to just simply Google it at the time.
Yeah. It's so weird. It's such like a thing that you take for granted now. If you don't know anything, you just Google it. You don't have to try and fail anymore. It's just like you just look up anything. You're like, oh, I don't know this. Google it. I don't know how to do this. Google it. Which is a blessing and a curse. I mean, there's basically anything you ever need to know in your entire life. Someone's made a YouTube video on it.
The worst one is when you have a problem and you find the problem on like an old forum and it's just never been answered.
Yeah, dude. I hate that. And then you go through like 3 different forums or on that same forum there's like five replies that are like, same problem. Anyone, any solution? You're like, come on. Be a solution, please.
Oh, I know, it's terrible. It's terrible. Whatever. It's always with old software as well.
Yeah,
it's this like some people still holding on to it.
Totally. So I'm gonna do something a little bit different today. I want to play one of your tracks very quickly so people get a taste of the music that you make, and we're gonna play a track off your latest album, Aeon Integrades. We're gonna be playing Uprising featuring Tim Cappello. Here you go.
Oh.
Not so red.
Not nothing on my face, is there? I'm not
Right. You look good, man.
thanking you.
Yeah, I don't see anything.
Let me fix my hair. So easy to wear a cap. It just makes everything. It makes all hairstyles look cool.
Yeah, man, I hear that.
To be fair, you still look cool in a cap. So
Yeah, I mean, I don't wear caps that much, to be honest. I wear a beanie and I wear my boonie hat all the time. This is my boonie.
oh, nice.
I wear that all the time. I started wearing that when I was hiking, and then I just wore it all the time. Now I wear it everywhere. That's why I started doing my DJ sets wearing that hat, because I'm like, you know what? I wear this all the time. I need to represent myself here, so I'm gonna wear this fucking hat.
Yeah, my label owner has a go at me for wearing dad caps all the time.
Yeah.
But I was like, no, it's me. I like dad caps. They're cool.
Well,
for dads.
Yeah, that's a fucking sweet hat anyway.
Thank you. It's like a bootleg Chinese one, but it's good quality.
Yeah, that's all that matters, man.
It was a gamble, but it was good quality.
Sometimes you roll the dice, and sometimes you fucking win.
Yep, should we re-record? We were just after Uprising, wasn't we?
Yeah, I'll roll us back in here. Okay,
Sounds
so that was the track Uprising off Aeon Intergrades with Tim Cappello. Man, I gotta ask, what was that like working with him? That's pretty incredible.
I don't know how to explain it. He was just really, really cool to work with. I just emailed him, and a few emails in, he'd sent me the track already, like basically in a finished state. He's amazing to work with. And after like loving his song he did a song in Mad Max, and he was in Lost Boys, and it was just crazy to think he's on a song with me now. It was really, really fun to work with him.
Yeah, dude, that's actually awesome. So when you reached out, did you send him like your completed track and we're like, hey, this is, I want you to lay down some fucking sexy saxophone on top of this. What do you think?
Yeah, basically what I said. I sent him Uprising without the saxophone, and my label owner actually liked Uprising without the saxophone.
Yep.
And he was saying like, oh, are you sure you wanna? Are you sure you want to send it to him? Is this the track you definitely want? I was like, yeah. And now my label owner loved it. And he basically, I sent him it. And a few days later, he sent that back.
That's crazy, man. That's fast working. Like, so how did you even get in touch with Tim Cappello? Like, tell me the process of that. Like, where did you get his email? How did you even, like, get on this path of getting him on a track?
Yeah, I messaged his Facebook page.
Really?
I couldn't find any contact details, so I just was like on Facebook, and I was like, "Yeah." It's such a weird, because like whenever I've contacted people, I've always had like a point. I've always been able to find a point of contact, and I couldn't for Tim, so I had to do something a bit more. I don't know, strange. I just messaged his Facebook page to get a hold of him, and then it took a few weeks, and eventually he got back to me. I completely forgot by the time.
Dude, that's awesome. That's actually how I communicate with a lot of people. Like, I first spoke with you on Instagram.
Yeah.
And that's how I usually speak to almost all the artists that I talk to. It's just because, you know, people respond there, which is pretty cool. A lot of times, you know, artists don't really have a contact me location anywhere. Like, you look on their Bandcamp, or if they have a personal website. A lot of people don't have personal websites, which is fair. I mean, I don't know really why you need a personal website in this day and age when you have so many different platforms to release stuff, but it's always hard to find. That's funny, man. That's actually awesome.
Yeah, because Tim doesn't have like an Instagram or Twitter either.
Yeah, he's an older dude. He doesn't want to get that fucking social media garbage. I'm surprised he even has Facebook.
Yeah, I'm not sure who runs his Facebook.
Yeah,
it was definitely Tim emailing, because we went over email after the Facebook.
Yeah. Well, how long was the process from like thinking of? You know what? Let's go back. How did you even think you wanted Tim Cappello on a track? Where did that idea come from?
I don't actually know.
You just wanted to lay some saxophone down, and you're like, this track. Did you make that track thinking you wanted saxophone on it?
something on it. Yeah, I left it purposely blank, and I think originally I was like, oh, maybe some vocals. And I remember I heard he did a song with Gunship,
Yep.
and then he did a song with Sunglasses Kid as
Yep.
well. And then I was just like, this saxophone is mad. And then I just thought, it's a fast track, and he's not really done anything like it before. Why don't I just shoot my shot? If I get it, I get it. If I don't, I don't. And then I got it.
Yeah, that's awesome. What was he like dealing with? Was he like a cool guy, super nice?
Yeah. Yeah, his first email was just, hey, it's Tim, what's up? That was his whole email. Really, really cool dude. He was just really down to earth. And when I showed him the track finished, he said he really liked it. And then, yeah, we chatted a bit back and forth and stuff. It was really, really cool.
What did that feel like, hearing from Tim Cappello on a finished track that he liked it? What was that like for you?
Oh, unreal. For someone who like has achieved so much in music to turn around and say that's just like it's such a compliment.
Yeah, man, that's huge. And that track is so fucking good. When I first heard it, I was blown away, man. And the saxophone, he did such an incredible job on over top of your production. Your production is incredible in that. And
Thank you. Thank you.
I actually want to talk about Aeon Integrates now that we're just talking about it, because it is so different from your other albums. Like Forever Drifting,
Yeah.
you have that super ambient, and then you even go to New Vessel, and it's still, it's slower paced. You have some faster tracks in there, but for the most part, you have like this almost space exploration, like very ambient, awesome music. But you dialed it up big time with Aeon Integrades.
Yeah, I've always loved heavier music.
Yeah.
And Aeronexus was always my ambient project, and then eventually once I worked with Masked on Cosmic Calamity,
Yeah.
I was like, it's something I've always wanted to delve heavier. But I made Aeronexus as an ambient project, so Aeon Integrate I just decided random. It was just after Cosmic Calamity, I was like, what was if I dial it up myself as well? Like I've done ambient, and then New Vessel was a concept album where I tried out a lot of new sounds, and yeah, I was like, I've done this now. Why don't I try something completely 180 from what I've done? And then I took a lot of my influences from my metal background because when I was a teenager, I got really into metal,
Yep.
and then eventually that led into me loving harder hitting music in general.
Yep. I feel
So I
that,
thought,
man.
why don't I just try and make something hard hitting myself? And then the first demos really sucked. Like to the point where I was like, I might just go back to making ambient music.
Well, it's just
And
so
then-
different. It was probably just such a huge step out of what you had been doing. You almost just fall into your comfort zone of making ambient. So when you try something so vastly different,
Yeah. It just clicked one day. I made the bass that's on a lot of my music. I made by just messing around with like bass sounds, and then eventually I figured it out one day and it clicked, and I deleted the whole album and restarted. And then that's why Aeon Integrate now is such a fast album, because it was me discovering how to make faster music. And I think on future releases I'll do a lot of more slower stuff but still as hard hitting.
right?
I think Aeon Integrate was a very giddy look, I can make fast music.
Yeah.
And I can make fast and heavy. So I think later releases I want to delve more into like deeper cuts, maybe going back into not fully ambient, but having heavier songs with more ambient moments that I think will make the heaviness hit even harder.
Totally.
But yeah, Aeon Integrate was so fun to make. It was stressful because it felt like I was relearning everything.
Yep.
But in the end, it was just such a good end result, and I was really, really pleased with what people thought of it. And then I was worried because I was like, even though people liked Cosmic Calamity, what was if they wanted the spacey stuff back? But people seem to really like the progression, and I like a lot of bands like Justice and Daft Punk, and I wanted to add a bit more danciness to my music as well.
Yeah, that's fair.
So it was good to see the nice reception, and still now it doesn't feel real that people gave me such nice compliments on the release day, and still do now.
Has that been your most, like, your best received album that you've released so far? Or?
Yeah, definitely. People seem to leave some really nice comments, especially on the 80s guy premieres as well. And yeah, it's crazy that people really like this new sound. I think I'm extremely grateful for everything, because it's just something I'm just so not used to, getting so much nice words. And I think it makes me really motivated to carry on, explore this sound a lot more, and then try a lot of new things. But I still definitely want to do relentlessly fast music.
Yeah, that must be tough in a way, because it's almost like you create something that isn't what you've been making and it does so well. Do you feel pressured to almost continue with that sound? Whereas, like you were saying, you kind of want to go back and have more ambient sections with the hard hitting. But, do you feel like a bit of pressure because of how well received Aeon Integrate is, that you're like, oh, you almost feel like you're boxed into making that sound now?
I feel like I actually really like making the sound, and
Yeah, the
if
album's
I
fucking
had to make
awesome.
albums like that, I would still continue to like it. And I think it's actually exciting in a way, because I think with the ambient stuff, it can, in a heavy song, I only need about 30 seconds of ambience.
Yep.
And oh, pardon me. And I think I feel a bit more, because when I started making Aeronexus, I feel like that's the sound I wanted. So I feel like I'm not boxed in. I feels like I've only just started again,
Yeah.
and it feels like more of a new beginning, because the album had a lot of weird moments in it, like Debris Disc, which was a bit more one of the ambient cuts. Hollow Purity had a little bit of not DMB, but lots of weird percussion and glitches, and then Serenity was a big orchestral thing with Draven, and I still
Yeah.
did a lot of stuff that I did on New Vessel, but just at a heavier and bigger scale. And I think this is where I want to be, and I'm actually quite giddy to carry on and discover new stuff in this sound.
That's awesome,
So I
man.
think,
It seems like
yeah,
it's been a good natural progression, and that you found this sound now that, I
yeah,
love when we were talking before, and it's Lightsynth. I love that. That is one of the best names for it, because, there's dark synth, but your music, it has this sense of hope to it. It's not, except Serenity. Draven got in on Serenity. You both made some fucking. That's some evil shit. Like you kind of got to go down that path a bit, especially with Draven. But
yeah, definitely.
um,
I'm definitely keep doing some more nasty evil music as well, hidden in there.
yeah. But I love that light synth. It's the
Yeah,
balanced dark synth, man.
yeah, he said it's not dark, but it's not synthwave, and he called it light synth. So I just nicknamed it that because I thought it was cool.
I think it's perfect, man. I think you started a genre.
That would be cool if I did. That would be really cool.
You did. You've done like a ton of collaborations on all of your albums, like a lot of collaborations. What have been some of your favorites?
Dynatron was definitely one of my big favorites, because he was one I discovered in the early days of synthwave, alongside Carpenter, Brooke, Perturbator, Ghost, and then Dynatron. And for actually to work with him was insane. Same with Star Force from New
Yep.
Vessel. Star Force was one I listened to early on, but I actually think they're all kind of equal, because I really everyone I've collaborated with, I really loved their music.
Totally.
And I think, especially, I think one of the coolest ones was hearing King Stephen doing cosmic space synth on Lunar
Yeah.
Arc.
Yeah.
Especially when his music now it's completely different to what Lunar Arc is, but it was cool to hear that, and then having this big ambient intro on my song with Masked. And,
Yeah.
I think Draven, Tim Cappello, and Dimmy on the new album. They were all really, really fun, because they were all completely different.
Totally. All of those are absolutely polar opposites of each other sounds.
And it was so fun to work with. Draven gave me this huge orchestra and like the theremin sound. He really just transformed this track from something that sounds like it would just blend in with it and integrate, and now it's like one of, if not the most prominent track that just sounds out there
Yeah.
in like the best way. And then Dimmy just absolutely shredded guitar on the final song.
Man, Dimmy is so good at guitar, and his production is fantastic too. But I love seeing the featuring Dimmies on everything. I'm a big Dimmy fan. He's
awesome.
An awesome guy and a great guitar player. So anytime I see Dimmies involved, I'm like waiting for that shredding guitar to come in. You know?
Yeah. Cause but as soon as I could message him, I was like, should I message him and get him on this song? Because I heard him first on Volkor's album.
Yep.
And then I'd followed him after that. And then when he just turned around, I was like, yeah, I'll do it. I was like, oh my God.
That's wicked.
So, yeah, it was really, really cool. I have nothing but like high praise to speak about everybody I've collaborated with.
That's awesome, man.
Everyone's been a unique experience, and they've all offered completely unique sounds, and it's really fun to work with people as well. That's why I like collaborating, because I worked with a soundtrack-esque artist on the final song of New Vessel, and that was completely different to working with like guitar shredding Contra Attack. You know what I mean?
Totally. Just adds.
It's awesome.
They all add their own flavor, and like if you look at all of your collaborations, they're all very different artists, from Dynatron to Millennium Falcon and Dimmy and Draven, like awesome different artists. Is there any that you have not yet collaborated with that you're like, I need to work with this person?
Oh, there's a few. Without me sounding like a massive fanboy, there's definitely a few. I think I'd definitely love to work with Volkor, because I've loved Volkor stuff since I heard it, and his stuff is insane.
Totally. Man, you can make some sweet like war type music happening in space. Yeah, you could do a lot with your theme and what you got going on with Aeronexus and Volkor. That's I want to see that.
That would be insane.
Yeah.
I'd love to work with Dan Terminus as
oh hell yeah.
He's a massive influence, especially on the panpipes.
Yeah.
Which is the whole reason I have panpipes in my music. So I remember listening to Automated Refrains, hearing it, and was like, okay, I need that. And then it just stuck.
I love your panpipes. That's when I was talking about N64 and shit. When you hear some of those sounds, especially on Forever Drifting, man, you gave me like big time. I thought of Dire Docks, and when I was listening to one of the tracks this morning, I'm like, this is
a compliment.
Yeah, it's like those pipes, man. Love them.
Yeah, so they're so fun as well, because they just add something so different to like what any instrument could add as well. It sounds strange, but it just adds like some weird mystical element to a song.
It totally does. It gives this expressive exploration type feeling, you know, like you're discovering something new. I love that feeling. It's
exactly.
Conveyed very well through it.
Games as well.
Yeah.
I named a few songs with Minor Masks EP. We named a song after our favourite mission in Metal Gear.
Yep.
I have Forgotten Worlds, which is my favourite Sega Mega Drive Genesis game.
Oh yeah, I haven't played it.
Final Flight being a really big rip-off of Final Fight.
Nice.
Which I absolutely love Final Fight though, so I thought it's just a fun play on like Final Flight. I really love doing stuff like that.
Dude, that track was one of my favorites. That's one of the standout tracks off Aeon Integrate for me, and it's just because it was so fun. It felt like I was playing an arcade game, man. It's just like it starts out just right away, right into it, like mission start. That's how it feels, you know, like mission start, and you're just right into it, fucking flying at it. And those samples you use that come out throughout the track, I loved it. It just felt like a really good, like arcade style track.
I had loads of fun making it. It was based on like old, like space side-scrolling shooters.
Yep.
And then a lot of the games like what's it? Is it 1984? The plane game.
Oh, I don't know, man. You're the retro connoisseur here.
But there was a lot of really cool plane jet spaceship games where it's like Fancy Gallagher basically. But I absolutely adored those sounds, and it was really fun to go and make loads of like chiptune.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that was definitely the most fun I probably had on like a track on my own. Was just I think with that one I just got like any sound I could find and just kept mashing it in.
There's a lot of sounds in it. Man, like Aeon Integrate is a huge album with so many different sounds throughout the whole thing. Like, you explored a lot of different sounds in that album.
I think that's a theme, that, because I did the same with New Vessel. I think I
Yeah.
just like just making so much different music with so many different really weird sounds.
You've expressed wanting to work with people who were vocalists. Is there any vocalists in mind that you're like would love to collaborate with? Going back to the collaboration question.
I'd love to collaborate with Haley from Sabotage again. The Sabotage cover we did.
Yeah.
There's a few. I'm trying to think of the names, because names sometimes go straight.
There's a
It'd be a
lot
really
in-
cool one day with LeBrock. LeBrock have absolutely killer vocals.
Yeah, Sean P.
Yeah, absolutely amazing. And amazing live, by the way. I've seen him live multiple times, and stellar. I'd love to work with them.
Yeah, that track he came out with Night Stop Terrorizer, that's a wicked track.
I was going to say I'd love to work with Trevor something, but he recently announced that he's doing his last album, so I don't think that's really going to happen.
Yeah, I saw that yesterday. He said something about his last album. I've saw speculation, people are like, "Oh, he's just going to come out with a different name." Or he's going to, he has other projects, he's just going to continue with them, but who knows, man? Maybe he's just like, I'm kind of fucking done with this.
Yeah, because he's been making good, consistent albums, like year on year on year on year. Like, surely there's a point where it's like he wants just to have a break, and maybe
Totally.
he might come back in years' time. But he's certainly left a really big impact on the scene, and
Yeah.
and a big impact on what sounds you can explore into. Because he even did some non-synth releases as well.
Yeah. That's
And
rad,
he's
man.
definitely like to work with vocal wise.
Yeah.
I'd really like to work with. I know this one is probably a big. I'd like to work with Tubware Remix Party, because they are insane.
Oh yeah, dude, Twerp is fucking hilarious. I love their music. They just remind me of the Scholastic Book Fair when I was a kid. That's what every time I hear Twerp, I'm like, Scholastic Book Fair. They sing. Oh man, yeah, so good, so good. Their latest album's wicked too.
Yeah, it was really cool. A couple of synthwave artists have appeared in their stuff as well. Like Magic Sword was in the last album.
Yep. I mean, I've seen, all of the guitar in Judge Bitch's music is Lord Phobos out of Twerp.
I didn't know that.
Yep. So every guitar you hear in Judge Bitch is Phobos.
Is it him who has his own? Because I know the lead singer has his own solo project, and the guitarist has one as well, doesn't he?
Yeah, Phobos has his own. I think he's got 3, maybe 4 EPs out, and it's awesome. It's what I like call it fantasynth, but it's like it's almost like the stoner rock of synthwave. It's like stoner synth. It tells a story of adventure, like He-Man type fucking synthwave.
Yeah.
Shredding guitar all throughout the entire thing, and yeah, his EPs are really good. He actually released one, I think, last summer. I didn't know that the singer has one, though. He's got his own solo project.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he does, yeah. Yeah, because I bought it on Bandcamp ages ago.
Oh, yeah.
And sometimes when you buy loads of stuff on Bandcamp, your backlog just gets...
Yep.
But yeah, it's they're super cool they'll be super cool to work with.
Yeah, they'd be fun. I'm sure you guys would make some fun stuff.
Never know in the future.
Yeah. Hey, Twerp, you're not going to watch this, but if you do, hit up Aeronexus. So, you have like a world that you've built with your albums. Can you tell me a little bit about like your character and this world that you've created?
Well, I released a little book with New Vessel, and there was supposed to be one coming with Aeon Integrate, but I wanted to put that to the side because I'd rather put all my efforts into making the story.
Right, through the music.
Yeah, and I wanted to make the book actually better, because I think if I just writ it and then dropped it with the album, I actually want to make it its own thing eventually.
Yeah, that's fair.
And yeah, it's based around a character called Aeronexus, and he is the captain of Starship Supernova in charge of finding these things called hollow shards. And they all grant different abilities, and spoilers for the book, because I've not really spoken about it. The villain has one. Surprise, surprise.
Oh boy.
And they all do, and I'm not even going to name how many there are, because I would just like to have an infinite amount if I could.
Yeah, fair enough, man.
But yeah, they're in the search for the hollow shards to save humanity, basically. But what Aeronexus doesn't know is something else, and that's why he's got crazy pale skin. He's can breathe in space suddenly once he wields this special sword of crazy writing he can't read on it. And yeah, it's based around the first parts of it, which is these 3 albums, is based around him chasing a villain named Vessel.
Oh.
So he's targeted the ship, destroyed it, thinks he's killed Aeronexus, and then New Vessel and Aeon Integrate is the story of him becoming strong enough, discovering worlds around him, like learning about his powers to take him down. And at the end of Aeon Integrate, he the basic gist of it is he takes him down at the end, and he's now at his powerfulest, kinda. He thinks he's at his powerfulest, and that's what I really wanted to get across in the book. And with Aeon Integrate having all my time and effort in the production, I didn't focus so much on it, so I'm going to keep writing it and eventually release a book about that thick, because it's taken ages.
That's fair.
But I really like world building.
Yeah. Do you think your book will be released before George R.R. Martin's The Winds of Winter?
I don't think that book will ever be released.
Yeah, I would agree with that, man.
I think that book's a myth. It's like Half-Life 3, Portal 3. It just doesn't exist.
They're words that are just in black holes somewhere. Any ideas that come from them, they just go into this black hole. No one can ever make anything about them.
Yeah, exactly. I think they're just... It's going to be an urban myth in like 100 years. Like a Loch Ness Monster.
We're going to find the Winds of Winter on a tablet in a fucking cave or something, you know?
Yeah, exactly. I think he's only just written the first page. He's written the title and gone, yeah, it's enough for now.
Yeah, that's good. That's a good fucking title. So have you been writing all of it yourself?
Yeah. My label owner edits a little bit of it, but I write everything myself, and I've got a stupidly complex Word document full of other side stuff, which maybe will ever come to light.
Just brain vomit, you know, like an idea that you think of, you just write down a key word of it.
Yeah, there's like 3 other villains, which are like fully have their vibe and have motives, but I just don't have the music to write them into yet. And
that's fair.
That's what I was thinking about, just making the narrative separate for now.
When you're writing and you're writing music, do you write specific music to the characters, or you make a character to your music? What's your flow when you're kind of making these 2 things together?
It's actually a bit of both. If I have something that's really, really cool in the theme, I'll write a song around it. But sometimes I hear a song that I've made that then inspires me to make something else.
Nice.
Like Planet Eater with Masked. I wrote into the lore that the villain destroys planets, because I was like, this is sick. I was like, this is a villain theme.
Oh yeah.
Like, it's based a lot around Unicron's theme. And that's why I also named it Planet Eater, was after Unicron. And then I was like, I'm going to steal this idea for my character. He doesn't eat planets, he just destroys them and consumes them.
I'm nodding, but I don't know what Unicron is.
Unicron is a transformer from the movie, and he's like the ultimate villain. He transforms into a planet and just eats other planets.
Like Pac-Man.
Yeah, but like on an intergalactic scale.
Waka 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 waka.
Yeah, literally. That's what he does. I mean, it's metal. It's sick. He just goes around and eats planets, and yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's awesome. That's ultimate villain shit. If you're destroying a planet and everything on it, that is that's top tier villain. You don't get much worse than destroying all life forms on a planet.
Yeah.
What's the motive? Is it like an energy consumption thing or?
Yeah, he has hollow shards need to be charged.
Oh, okay. Nice. I
His
like it.
of destruction, which the Aeon Intergrade is actually an Aeon is a long time, and Intergrade is a change in form. So it's actually about both of these two conflicting characters evolving and changing.
Yeah.
While New Vessel is about Aeronexus becoming a vessel of a hollow shard, which is in his sword, which is why there's a crystal there on like the hilt.
Oh, okay.
And this is the hollow shard of light, which hyperspeed is the name of one of his abilities as well, which means he can move at the speed of light when swinging the sword. And Vessel has the hollow shard of destruction, so the Unintegrate is Vessel becoming this absolute monster, and Aeronexus becoming this crazy space ranger that takes him down.
Dude, I love it. I love this like conjunction of worlds, the creation of music, the creation of a world that goes with it. Like both, not even just both, you, Draven, Ectoplague, Necromancer, even Destroyer, you guys all have these worlds that you have created. And it just...
Oh, it's awesome. It's so fun to write.
It's so cool, man. It just... Like, hearing you talk about all of these track titles and then describing what it is in your world that you've created is super fucking cool, man. I love it. So
hopefully one day it won't be a George R.R. Martin thing, and it will actually release as a book.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's the tough part. You're writing music, also trying to write a story, but the cool part of that is you're writing both at the same time. One is inspiring the other, and it's consistently moving forward that way.
Exactly. So in 10 years, you'll get volume 1.
Yeah, I mean, hey, that's better than the black hole of this, you know? Your idea of not going in a black hole like the winds of winter is. Bye. See you later. Never to be seen again. Go on. Do you read a lot? Like, it sounds like you have some good ideas here, man. Do you get inspired from reading? Where are you pulling some inspiration from?
I need to read a lot more.
That's what everyone says. Everyone needs to read more.
The last book I read was Discworld, which was by Terry Pratchett, and that is ace. It's like a comedy series.
Okay.
Not as well. It's really, really fun. It knows when to be serious, and it is quite serious at times, but also it's just, I don't know how to explain it. It's just something really cool. But I read a lot of manga at the moment.
Yep.
Like I just finished I finished Chainsaw Man in like 2 days. And that is like, I think if you want to go for like over the top plots, go to like any manga and anime, and they are insanely cool.
Yeah.
Chainsaw Man is very, very, very cool.
It sounds pretty gruesome. I'm pretty sure I've seen images of him. He's got a chainsaw for his fucking head, doesn't he?
It's awesome. It is like, if the soundtrack isn't drum and bass and doom music, then they've got it wrong.
Yeah. Sounds like it should be fucking Mick Gordon.
Yeah, exactly. Mick Gordon, Prodigy. It needs some like fucking Slayer in there. Like it just hits everything I like about like manga. Even as like it's quite funny as well, which is weird.
Yeah.
It contrasts with the ultra hyper gory fights as well.
Yeah.
And it even delves into some quite sad themes, and it's a very, very good manga, and it's finally getting animated, which is really cool. And then
who's picking it up?
I started reading Fist of the North Star as well, which is really cool. It's during that weird Macho Man era of anime.
Oh,
where
I'm into it.
Which is it's sick. It's really cool. And yeah, it's just that's mostly what I read is comics and manga because I like the pictures.
Yeah, man, that's fair. I love comics. I read a lot of comics. I have a shit ton of graphic novels behind me, actually, on the shelf behind me.
Yeah, I recently reread through all of Scott Pilgrim because I loved it when I was younger.
Yep.
I think also because I think price-wise, it's not bad for a graphic novel the size it is.
Right. Are you getting like an omnibus or like just the collection of like 10 issues or something?
It was just the collection, but it was like a few years after the film came out. So I'm guessing...
Oh yeah, there was a interest of people after the film. They're like, oh yeah, this, and then started releasing collections and stuff.
Yeah, they released all the coloured books, but I was like, oh, I'll just buy like all the black and white books for like 20 quid.
Yeah.
Which was awesome, by the way. Such a cool. And he's wrote another book as well called Seconds, which is really cool.
Nice.
Which is about, if I can remember, it's about taking mushrooms.
I've done my fair share of those.
So there you go. You might relate to it. You know, mushrooms and time. I think it's time travel. I think
I've also done my fair share of that.
Yeah, I've done my fair share of time traveling as well. So that's probably why I enjoyed it so much.
Yeah, man. Mushrooms and time travel. I mean, they kind of both go hand in hand, really, if you're thinking about it. I haven't done mushrooms in a long time, but yeah, I got nothing against them. They're fucking... I have had some of the most profound experiences of my life when I've eaten magic mushrooms. And I'm sure people who've eaten magic mushrooms are going to be like, yeah, I know what he's talking about. That shit changed my life. Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah. Been a long time. What's your favorite comic? You have a favorite character?
Oh, that's a really tough question.
Oh yeah, it is, man. There's so much out there. Are you okay? Let's make it easier. Are you more of a Marvel fan or DC or Vertigo or Image? Like, what's your flavor? What kind of comics do you like?
DC. I'm like, oh yeah, I love DC. When you bring the other comic books into it, you got Hellboy and Sport. I can't decide. So there's Marvel and DC.
Yeah.
I prefer DC storylines. I really loved DC. But if you bring the other guys in, I don't know. Because I read Spawn because I remember seeing the artwork of all the chains and like the crazy weapons, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna read this. And then,
dude, the villains too, like Violator.
What was that? Sorry.
Oh, just the villains in Spawn. Like the Violator is a fucking amazing.
I wish I picked up we had a local comic store here, and they sold Spawn and Watchmen figures, and because I was so young, I had pocket money. I couldn't get like some crazy cool like Rorschach Watchmen statue, which like at the time wasn't that much, but like everything's more expensive now. I could have got a 6 statue for like half the price you would get one for now. And then they had a Hellboy one, which it looked like it was straight out the comic, which is like the best kind of statue.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, 6 scale figures, Sideshow Collectibles, they make fucking amazing stuff. I've always wanted a Sideshow, but it's like $300. I just can't pull the trigger on it.
There's a company right now doing Berserk statues as from the manga Berserk, and they are absolutely insane. They're really pricey, but they are huge, and I really want one. But as
that's
you can
an anime.
tell by the background, I have zero space for a giant statue of Berserk.
There's always space. Always space.
I know.
Look at you got the top of an arcade cabinet. You can put stuff on top of that.
I won't want to risk it. I love that arcade machine.
Oh, that's figure is okay. I'm not telling you to like put a pitcher of beer on it or something. That I wouldn't do. That's a sweet arcade machine. What is that? Where is that from? I've seen some online. 1UP or something. Is that one of the 1UP ones?
It's okay. 1UP. I got it as a gift for.
Oh hell Chris. Yeah!
I didn't expect it. I wasn't expecting anything. Suddenly there was this massive arcade machine. And yeah, it comes with Street Fighter 2, Street Fighter 2 The New Challengers, which is like, that's my favourite. And then it comes with Street Fighter 2 Turbo. And like the amount of time I've just sat there in my office chair after work, instantly swiveled around and just played that for 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And do you play a lot of Street Fighter still, or?
Do I?
You a question. I was gonna ask you, who's your favourite Street Fighter character?
Oh fuck, man! I'm like gonna be the whole white bread character here. I like Ryu, man. I love him. I've always liked him. He was like, I idolized him as a kid. I wanted to be him.
Ryu's ace though. Like, to be fair, there's not any bad characters. My favourite's Dalsim because I just thought he was mad. Stretchy arms, fire out his mouth.
Dalsim fire! Is that what he yells when he breathes fire?
Yeah, it's awesome. And also, probably he was. I'm not sure if he was easier because he could stretch.
I've seen some people on like high tier Street Fighter, like actual professional gaming, they get pretty choked when people play Dalsim. So I don't know, but
as I thought then. I probably just got a really stretchy character.
I like Blanca too. Blanca's a great character.
Once you learn that electric move,
yeah, Have you watched the Jean-Claude Van Damme Street Fighter movie?
Yes.
It's
Yeah,
terrible. It is so bad.
I like the Street Fighter, and I like the Mortal Kombat movie as well.
Oh, I fucking love the first Mortal Kombat. Is an amazing movie. They did a really good job of it. It's one of my favorite movies. Like looking back when I was a kid, I loved Mortal Kombat.
Have you seen the Street Fighter anime that has Korn as the credit sequence?
Oh, I don't know. Is that the one that starts out with Ryu fighting Sagat in the rain?
I think so, yeah. And like it ends up with M. Bison about to run over Ryu with like a truck, and then Korn just starts playing, and it's like this is badass.
I don't know. That sounds fucking amazing. But I've been searching. I've been searching for that anime where it's Ryu and Sagat fighting in the rain, and it shows how he gets his huge scar. It's fucking Ryu doing Shoryuken and cuts his fucking chest, and it's like blood sprays everywhere. It's wicked. I loved it as a kid. I've no idea what it is. I need to find it.
Because I think I've got. I still collect any DVD I can find with anime.
Yep.
Because my issue is now, I'm going on these streaming sites, and there's nothing I want to watch. Like, I just want to watch Dragon Ball.
Yeah.
And it's not on anywhere, and then the other day I was looking for...
It's not even on, like, Crunchyroll or Funimation or anything? There's some big fucking anime streaming sites now.
Not over here, though, because we've only got Dragon Ball Super, and I was like, I just want to watch Dragon Ball Z.
Oh, okay.
And, even, like, I'm a sucker for, like, old, like... Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh! And I couldn't find Yu-Gi-Oh! Anywhere either. So I ended up wasting a little bit of money on a big collector's set of Yu-Gi-Oh! Which I've not watched all of.
Yeah. Dude, I love it. You can't see, but off camera over here is a massive wall of VHS tapes. So I'm a little bit further behind than the DVDs. I'm about that VHS, but that's just because I like the textures. For me, my childhood was watching VHS. I fucking talked about this before on my podcast. We call them kick butt movies. When I was a kid, we'd go over to my neighbor's house and we'd borrow a movie, go home and play it. So I grew up on Schwarzenegger and Jackie Chan and Jean-Claude. And
that was the point of that, where we still had VHSs, but we also had DVDs.
Yeah.
And one thing that annoys me about VHS is you go on Twitter or like any social media and someone's like, look what I've just found in like a charity store.
Yeah, Goodwill. It's always Goodwill. Goodwill has the best selection. Everyone has so many Goodwills around them. I can't even go on the subreddit VHS.
And like I seen someone the other day, they found like Evangelion, the whole collection, white VHSs, and I was like, I went into like mine, and it's like a driving instructing video on a VHS. That's the only one I could find. Oh my god.
Yeah, so I haven't even watched these, but Mobile Suit Gundam Wing is what both of these are.
Do you know what? When I finally go over to the US, I've got to go to all these stores that have all this stuff and just find stuff.
I know. I wish I had a Goodwill too, because for me, we have like these little thrift stores that are ran by grandmas, which is amazing. They're always just the sweetest old ladies running these charity thrift stores. Love them to death. We go there all the time, but there's no selection. I don't get VHS tapes. The last time, I will say though, I went there and there was like 10 James Bond movies from the 007 collection, and I fucking grabbed all of them for like 25 cents a piece. So, sometimes it makes it that much better when you go to these stores and you find gold, because it's like you really struck gold. But I would love to just go to a Goodwill. Like I said, man, you see on that subreddit on Reddit, the subreddit VHS, every time someone's like, oh, look at this haul from today, it's always Goodwill. We don't have those in Canada. We don't have Goodwill.
We don't have them over here either. We have like charity stores.
Yeah.
And that's it.
And like,
I should come over to Canada. We'll just road trip all the way through the US, go to every Goodwill.
We'll hit up Goodwills in Canada. We'll do fucking Value Village, because that's where people go in Canada. They go to Value Village up here. And
we'll get an A-Team van. We'll just play the A-Team song and just dart across the whole continent and just see how many VHSs we can get.
Just the A-Team song on repeat?
I think after an hour, I think that'll get very old very fast.
We'll be so angry driving. Can't listen to anything but A-Team theme remixes too. We just have all these remixes of the A-Team theme.
It'd be like a terrible MIDI remix as well, where it's just like a MIDI keyboard.
Yeah, or
Where someone dragged it in, it just picks like the stock piano sound.
yeah, like that the Poly ringtones, you know those on the old old flip phones. That sounds awful. Let's not do that. I mean, I'm all for you coming here and us road tripping, but I don't think I want to listen to the A-Team over and over again.
Yeah, I think it was that reminds me of like an old ringtone. I had a really terrible Flintstones ringtone
Yep.
on like my old phone, and it was absolutely dreadful.
Yeah.
But I miss it.
Yeah, man. There's something about those old Poly ringtones. It was like when I was a kid and I got my first fucking flip phone. One of the best things was, you know, customizing your ringtone. And the only choice that I had was Bobby McFerrin's "Don't Worry, Be Happy." And, you know, I couldn't even help but pass that up because I was a huge fucking stoner when I was a kid. And I was like, oh, yeah, don't worry, be happy. Yeah. Yeah. You know, just... That's actually a great track, though. I won't knock that track. But it was Poly. It was a Poly ringtone. Yeah.
I remember that.
What was your first phone? Did you have, like... You're younger than I am. You're, like, almost 10 years younger than me, but...
It was like a little Android phone. Like, it was, like, in the midpoint of where touchscreens were coming in. Because
I
actually didn't have a phone till I was in high school because I wasn't really interested.
Yeah.
And I had one where it's like, you could still press buttons and do the touchscreen.
Oh, okay.
So it's like, I had like an old little Android phone.
Yeah.
To be fair, with Android, you can customize your ringtone really easily. So every like day, I had like a different text tone.
That's fair. Yeah.
I think I had like Ryu's sound. I had "You've Got Mail" as my mail sound and stuff.
Classic.
No. I wish I did that to my phone now. I just have the stock ringtones for mine now.
Oh, my phone's on silent 24/7 now.
Yeah, because I lose my phone so much from that, though, because I ask someone to ring it, all you can hear is zzz, zzz.
I don't even have vibrate on. Mine is silent 100% of the time.
I had to have vibrate on because I kept missing calls.
Yeah, I miss calls all the time. I mean, let's be real, but chances are, if you call me, I'm not going to answer anyway.
Oh, fair enough.
I'm the type of guy that you put it to voicemail. I'll fucking listen to your voicemail. If it's important, they call back. If it's not, I'll call you when I can. I also live in an area that I don't have service, so chances are I miss phone calls anyway. I have a fucking landline, dude.
To be fair, my girlfriend still has a landline in her house.
Yeah, man.
It's still holding on by a thread landline.
Yeah, it's actually not super cheap either. It's way more expensive than I want it to be. I have to pay like $50 a month, dude.
Jesus.
And I don't use it. It's strictly for emergency purposes.
At least it's better just being there, though, isn't it? It's just there just in case.
Yeah, it's insurance, you know? You never know. We listen to a lot of, like, true crime. So, we are like, okay, let's make sure we have a landline in case there's some crazy fucking murderer. You know, never know. Never know.
That's why I don't watch stuff like that, 'cause it freaks me out, and I'm like, no.
It's fair. It does freak you out. It makes you paranoid about shit, but you know, not in bad ways. You know, all our doors are always fucking locked. We're smart. We're safe, exactly. And just because you listen to shit and you're like, it gives you perspective of, you know, what you need to do and how fucking crazy the world is. But yeah, I mean, it's the same thing as like doom scrolling. If you go too far into it, you just become paranoid of everything.
Yeah. So that's more or less why I just started watching my DVDs again. It's like, I need something to watch, and I'm watching loads of YouTube videos, and they're all absolutely insane.
Man, you know what? To be honest, we're not made to consume how much negative media that we are fed every single day. You know, before 20 years ago, you would have local news. You'd maybe have global news. Not even. It would be like a quick... You know, this is what's happening in the world, this is what's happening in the country, and this is what's happening locally. And it was pretty, you know, you had your half hour, but now, I mean, you just open your phone and we're constantly bombarded with mass shootings in the States, you know, this and that happening. And we are not made as human beings to consume that much negative shit.
Yeah. I think it's definitely the best thing. The best thing I did was not use my phone as much. I
Totally.
don't use social media as much anymore. Like, I just kind of tend to just text my friends over like Discord,
Yeah,
mostly just
man.
here.
Yep.
And yeah, I think that's the best thing I did as well because there's a lot of stuff out there where it ends up because you look at it, it appears more on your stuff.
Absolutely. The
And
algorithms.
yeah. Once you have a break from it all, it kind of slows down a bit, and
Yep.
yeah, you don't see so many like unfiltered death videos on Facebook and stuff where you're just like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, man. I'm actually not on that many social medias. I'm not on Facebook. I'm not on Twitter. And I'm on basically Instagram, and you know what? I call Discord social because I have a server. I'm in a whole bunch of people's servers. It's pretty social for
Yeah,
me. You know, you're talking to a lot of people, you're engaging. For me, that's social media.
yeah, it's very social. The only the only social media I have like Twitter and Instagram wise is my music.
Yeah, that's
And
fair. And it's necessary. You know, in this day and age, networking, posting stuff about your releases and all that kind of shit, it's almost like you have to do it.
yeah, and my issue is though, I didn't grow up on an era of social media, so whenever I'm not really that open of a person online,
Yep.
so I don't know what to say, and I
Right.
don't even casually say stuff too much because I don't know what to say.
Yeah.
Nothing I say is particularly like funny, and I just kind of just play video games in my room or go outside.
Hey man, you sound like a normal person. Like, let's be real here. The people, you don't need to say a lot on social media. Like, you post stuff that's applicable. Like, I mean, half the time I don't even have energy to put hashtags. Like, I'm like, I don't care if people see this. If people that follow me see this, that's good enough for me. I don't worry about reach and engagement and times of posting, and all that stuff just makes it not fun for me anymore. When I just want to share a fucking image that I like, that I made, that
Yeah,
I'm proud of, it's like it just turns into this whole thing. And you know what, even YouTube is this whole fucking world of,
yeah. YouTube's a completely different
dude,
thing.
it's like this type of content that you have to make, and your thumbnail has to look like this, and your fucking caption has to be clickbait bullshit like, you won't believe what he did,
Yeah,
like.
it makes me miss the old days of YouTube a lot. I grew up with when YouTube first started, and
Yeah, man.
I used to love I used to love gaming channels like Angry Video Game Nerd, but like AVGN, um, the game title, then episode 1,
Yep.
and then
Yep.
it'd be like this. Then the new game would be episode 2, but at least you'd be like, oh, I can
Yep.
just binge these. Got episode 1, 2, and
Yep. It's clear, it's concise, it tells you what you're watching. You don't need
yeah, and
these
I like having a number
bullshit
because
clickbait fucking titles.
yeah, and like and I know there is a thing about stuff reaching 10 minutes because you get better ads, but
Mm,
there's only so much you can say about like, say if a new figure releases, and it's like, oh, it's on pre-order.
yep.
There's not really much you can say about that. And I think when I watch YouTube now, I've really unsubscribed from a lot because I know you have to survive on the landscape, but it's these big, bright, colourful thumbnails and very clickbaity videos where
Yeah,
you don't
man.
even know the topic anymore. It's like I'm not really a big fan of that. And
Uh,
I just like stuff where it's like Batman Detective Comics review issue thingy, and I'm like, that's good enough for me. Like a
dude.
3-minute video, a guy going, I like this comic, or I think this comic is shit.
Yeah. I'm the same,
Uh,
man. I refuse to pander to the algorithm. I won't post bullshit fucking titles. My thumbnails, like, for me, cohesiveness is my theme. I
your
post it.
thumbnails look like cassettes.
Oh, thanks, man. And so the reason why I do that is the cassettes are my YouTube thumbnails, and then my Instagram images are fake boxes of video cassettes. So everything for me, I like to have from one platform to the next a cohesive theme. And I
Yeah,
don't care about these stupid things. And you know what? That might be my downfall. It's because this day and age, all that stuff, people people pay so much attention to, people pander to these algorithms. And the other thing that's difficult too is YouTube isn't just small independent creators anymore. You have huge production companies that are composed of massive teams that are now releasing big production, big budget videos.
Yeah, like even some TV shows are just releasing their episodes on YouTube now with ads.
Totally.
Like look at Gordon Ramsay.
Yeah.
He's huge. And I think also one other thing about the big bright thumbnails as well is just something, it attracts a younger audience.
Oh yeah.
Which is what a lot of YouTubers will probably want.
Yeah, and I mean the younger audience in YouTube is a huge percentage of people on YouTube. For me, most of my videos I put as 18A because I swear a lot, I have mature themes, and I don't give a fuck. I don't want kids watching my videos. Like, what is a kid gonna resonate with the shit that I'm talking about? I'm a fucking adult, dude. I don't expect a kid to listen to what I'm saying and be like, yeah, I agree. Fucking rights, dude. I don't know. You know?
It could be the equivalent of us watching like 18 films which we weren't allowed to watch. Now they're watching 18 YouTube videos.
Totally. Yeah, man. You never know.
You know, there might be one kid out there who's like, this was like his RoboCop. Like, cause I remember watching RoboCop and just being like, what did I just watch?
RoboCop was super violent and super gruesome. That was an intense movie, especially as a kid to watch.
Yeah.
Absolutely awesome. I mean, but like just the scene of all of them shooting Peter Weller, Alex Murphy, to make him become RoboCop.
The melting as well. That melting thing was horrible.
Oh, dude. Such a great movie. I love that movie. Actually, RoboCop 1 and 2 were phenomenal movies. 3 is a pile of dog turds. Let's be real here. That they didn't even have Peter Weller in it. I forgot that.
To be fair, it's still better than the reboot they did.
I didn't watch the reboot.
I more or less forgot about it, so I think that kind of says...
Yeah, that says a lot. But you know what? I like that actor. The one who was in the reboot is the same guy who was the main character, the protagonist in Altered Carbon in the first season.
Yeah. Yeah, the first season of Carbon's really good. I've not seen the second season yet.
What's his name? Joel?
I'm not good with actor names.
Oh, no worries, man. It doesn't fucking matter, but he was great. And I saw he was in RoboCop, and I thought of watching it because of him. But if you're telling me that it's not worth watching.
I was young as well.
Yeah.
So don't let that thing give you judgment. And the thing is, I enjoy stuff that people don't like. I love Tron Legacy, and I only found out that when it came out, people didn't like it. And you know what? I still like Tron Legacy.
You know what? It's the diehard fans that don't like the new iterations. That's usually what it is. The people who are really big fans of the original content are usually the most critical on the reboots.
Yeah, like I see there's a lot of stuff surrounding He-Man on Netflix.
Yeah, I was never really watching He-Man as a kid. It was kind of before my time.
Yeah.
I watched some of the Netflix show and I liked it. The animation's wicked. I love just good animation.
I think my dream show came out on Netflix, and then after that ended, I kind of died out because I'm a massive Castlevania fan.
I was just gonna say, man. I was gonna fucking say, is it Castlevania? I was gonna ask.
Yeah. My only critique with Castlevania is they have so many of these amazing tracks, and they used Bloody Tears once, but they had Vampire Killer. They had just stage songs which you could have just put in battles to make them 10 times better.
Mm-hmm.
Because when Bloody Tears played, I freaked out. I was like, "Holy shit, it's Bloody Tears!" I was telling my girlfriend. My girlfriend's like, "I don't care."
She's like, "I don't know what you're talking about, but cool."
It's just I'm hyped because you're hyped, and it was just you have all these such cool. You do though. When someone gets hyped, it makes you hyped, and
yeah.
My only downfall was you had so many good tracks.
That's a good downfall. That's a great downfall. Oh wait, are you saying that they had so many good tracks to use and they didn't?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And to be fair, the story got a little bit rushed, but I think it's because it had 4 seasons.
Yep.
Or was it 4? And there's a couple of episodes where they kind of glossed over stuff, but it wasn't like to the point where it's like, I don't understand what's going on.
Yeah.
It was a really awesome show. And I think they're doing spin-offs of it.
Oh, wicked. I didn't know that. I love the show. It's one of the first anime I watched on Netflix, and I quickly became a fast favorite fan of Netflix anime.
Yeah, because the thing is, as well, it's a good anime as well, because my girlfriend's never played Castlevania, and I doubt she wants to play a side-scroller where you whip vampires.
It's a good time.
I see
Sounds like a great time.
I know, for me it's ace. You know, like Super Castlevania 4 for SNES is one of my favourite games, Symphony of the Night. I even like the 3D iterations, and I got my ass whooped by 1 and 2.
Yeah. Man, the original games on like Nintendo and Super Nintendo are so goddamn fucking hard. I think what happened was it was so close to the time of arcade games. And so they still had that, hey, let's make it impossible to beat, so you keep feeding coins in. They still had that in their mind, even though it was a home system now. They still had that like difficulty, because if you look at like most Super Nintendo games, if you're talking Super Star Wars, Castlevanias, even Earthworm Jim, those games were fucking hard, dude.
You know what though? I feel like Super Castlevania 4, I think the game is really hard, but I think that's actually the game presents stuff before it gives you it all at once.
Yeah.
So it gives you like individual stuff, and then the boss is like, here's everything. And I think Castlevania 4 is one of the really coolest games because it's hard, but you do learn as you play.
Right.
Like, it gives you items just before an enemy, which you can kill with a whip, but you specifically use the item, and it will just like... I think it's just really clever, that game.
Love
Symphony of the
when...
Night is just ace. You start off with everything immediately. You're just kicking ass for like 2 minutes, and then you get it all taken away.
I love when games do that, and I think that's a really good game progression system, is when they introduce an item that you need to use, or an ability that you need to use to clear the next area, or maybe the next boss. The next boss has a vulnerability to said weapon or ability, or the next area zone that you have to clear, you need to use this ability. That's just really good fundamental game progression, in my opinion. And I love seeing that in like modern day Metroidvanias.
Yeah, one of the coolest examples would be like Zelda Link Between Worlds or Breath of the Wild, where you can go anywhere. But if you go in a certain order, you can get like stuff that's weak and stuff that's effective. And I think that makes the experience 10 times better when there's a sense of mystery to it as well.
Totally.
Like, you go somewhere random on the map, you find somewhere, and it's like effective on a boss back on the other side of the map. But that's also a really cool theme to me. And like learning that kind of stuff is really fun, because it's always fun to do a second playthrough of a game you kind of know.
Yeah, absolutely.
Open world's a hard one, because open world you either get really overwhelmed or you just go absolutely balls to the walls, play it for 2 months.
Sounds like you have immediate experience with that. But before we talk about that, let's listen to some more music, man. Let's listen to another track of yours.
Yeah, sounds good. Sounds good.
We're going to listen to Forgotten Worlds off New Vessel. that track is the one that reminded me so much of Dire Docks. And that was the one that made me go like, oh, there's no way he doesn't have some shred of inspiration from Koji Kondo. Like that track, where did you come up with Forgotten Worlds?
I can't remember. That was originally it was an ambient track actually. It was fully ambient, and then I added those little, I can't remember the name of the instrument at the start, and then I think that was my first proper, like, I got that new panpipe sound.
Yeah.
And then I went absolutely crazy with it. And then eventually it just sounded like this, like, adventure song from, like, an old adventure game. And I was like, okay, I'm just going to carry on with this and keep it building up. And it just turned into that. It was like a really strange, it was like a kid on Christmas with a new toy. It was just me going crazy with a panpipe.
Dude, and that's exactly what it felt for me, was just this adventure track and this exploration track of an adventure game. It totally reminded me of Ocarina of Time and the feelings that I got when playing that game, or Mario 64 and exploring a new level and finding the different things in the game. It gave me the same feelings.
Definitely, yeah. I think that's the feeling I've always wanted with that track was adventure, like the sense of a new world, and that's why I called it Forgotten Worlds as well, because I quite liked the the aesthetic of like derelict worlds where they've been gone for so long that they've got a mysterious past, but they've now got like a new identity as like a, these overgrown relics and stuff. And I love that theme so much, and I think that's what this track was going for a lot. Was like just like new adventure and new horizons. And
is that something that was, like your hero Aeronexus was exploring worlds and discovering these forgotten worlds?
Yeah, it's a little bit. I'm not actually. I was just trying to think if it's in the little lore book, but it's not. Yeah, I like the idea of Aeronexus exploring the universe around him and growing from it and picking up relics, and I think that definitely comes from like my love of Metroidvanias.
Yeah,
like going around the world, learning about it, and picking up these items, and I think that definitely correlated to my music.
totally.
Like I don't know. It was also just a really, really cool. It's just such a cool theme, having like a derelict world where it just seems like there's nothing there anymore.
Man, you could take that track and put it as the theme for a water level in a game, and it would be perfect.
Yeah.
It would fit so well.
Yeah, definitely. Well, if anyone wants it, there's a water thingy. They can always ask me, and I'll happily give it them, because I just love video games.
Is that something that you've ever considered doing or wanted to do, is like composing for a video game?
I've tried to. I've offered my music to games, and I would really like to write music for games. Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely, and it's just such a. I've not been offered, and maybe I've not spoke to the right people, but yeah, it's something I'd really like to do. Yeah.
I can't imagine it's an easy world to break into.
No, especially when there's so many good soundtrack artists as well that just specialize in it, do amazing jobs.
Yeah. Hey, that's not to say that you wouldn't do an amazing job, man. It's just finding the right person to talk to and getting your music in a game. There's so many games that are coming out now too, man. There's so many indie developers, especially with like Steam and Epic and these places that are actually like, really promoting and pushing indie developers.
Yeah, definitely.
It's definitely
always been one of my favorites because they have got the maddest titles.
Dude, Devolver, pretty much I see a game that comes out on Devolver and I'm like, yeah, it's a good game. Yeah, I'll buy it.
And it's always like the craziest thing as well, isn't it? It's like, oh, this is definitely Devolver.
Yeah. You're like, yep, I'll buy it. And then they have really good price points, That's the thing, like, I get more enjoyment out of indie games than I do out of AAA titles. And you pay a fucking quarter of the price that you do of a AAA title. Like, the most enjoyment I've had out of games has been in the last 5 years. I'll say Blasphemous is fucking top tier game.
And the free expansions as well. That makes you go back to the...
Totally, man. The Messenger is another game. Those games cost me like $20 each, man. And I've had way more enjoyment than the last, I don't know, 5 AAA title games I've bought that I don't even play. Call of Duty, fucking, I don't know why I bought that. Someone convinced me to play it with them, and I was like, hey, this is the same Modern Warfare that I played in fucking 2010, dude. Like, why are we playing this shit still? It's the exact same fucking game.
I think the thing about indie games as well, you can find some like absolute hidden gems as well.
Oh, dude. And they're always so, there's nothing holding them back. They're like, okay, let's make the exact game we want. We're going to introduce this very interesting mechanic that we've never seen before. And so oftentimes you find these like experimental games that are absolutely amazing. Like, look at Hades. That was actually an indie developed game, and it got Game of the Year a couple of years ago.
Yeah, and there's like certain games as well that are very. I like the finding out about the story from actually exploring. Like Hollow Knight, Blasphemous do that very, very well. Like, you don't know anything, you get dropped in, it's like, fuck you, go.
Yeah. Those are the best types of games.
Yeah, and I think they are. Hollow Knight was my first proper, like, Metroidvania indie game where I was just like, oh wow, like I need to play more of these, and that game's like oddly dark as well. Like, it presents itself and it's like, it looks a little bit dark. When you play it and the story plots and everything about it, it's a really, really dark and sad game.
Yeah, I mean, essentially you're like exploring this ghost town where everything's dead and they're all shells of their former selves.
Yeah, and the spoilers of the overgrowing, like, orange pus that takes people over. And there's a character you go to in the game, and you can keep visiting them, and they keep saying different stuff, and eventually they become more run down. And eventually they turn around in, like, a zombified form and just attack you.
Oh, yeah. I don't know if I saw that one.
I was like, I'm hoping and praying that the ending of Hollow Knight meant it went and they're alive, so I never killed them.
Was it the warrior guy that you kept seeing?
No, it's the little miner who's just like singing along as they're mining.
Oh, yeah, I killed them.
You monster.
I killed them, yeah, for sure. I was like, oh, bitch, you're gonna attack me? Fuck you, let's go. And then I killed him like really easily. And I'm like, oh, that's sad. Yeah, that game was great. And Blasphemous was the same thing, these games that... And a lot of these horror side-scroller games, too, are fucking incredible. Little Nightmares, Inside. I'm sure there's a whole bunch that I'm just forgetting right now, but these games that just drop you in, they don't tell you anything about it, and it's all about you exploring this world to figure out what's happening, and they're incredible. Little Nightmares, are both 1 and 2, are some of my favorite games I've played in the past 10 fucking years, man.
It's weird because Little Nightmares and Inside, it's actually generally like freaky and a bit scary as well. Like, there's so many close calls in that game where you're just about to be grabbed, and even though it's like a platformer, you know it's going to be like with the dogs on Inside where they just absolutely walk, and it's like, this is grim, and then Little Nightmares is just horrifying, and you don't really. The worst part is when you don't know what's going to happen when they catch you in Little Nightmares, because the enemies are terrifying.
Totally, man.
And when they hear you and they just turn your head, you just shit yourself.
Yeah, especially the ones when they're like cutting all the meat up.
Oh yeah, chefs in it. It's like in 1 or 2. They've got like the big frowny face.
Yeah, I think that's in 1. And then they're like
masks. They lift up their head.
Yeah.
Or the stretchy neck lady in 2.
Oh yeah, that lady was pretty freaky. I found the first game had more scary stuff in it. And
yeah, the second game was kind of a bit of a different identity. It was a bit more weird, and like it really experimented more with like, I'm not sure how to say, because I know Little Nightmares wasn't realistic, but Little Nightmares 2 went into the like ultra unrealistic.
Yeah, they had like some weird time shift, like breaking of the realms type thing happening in 2.
Yeah, and I think the thing is though, how many times can you do Little Nightmares 1 before it gets boring?
I mean, Little Nightmares 1, the DLC absolutely fucking blew my mind.
I didn't even know there was a DLC.
Oh, dude, the DLC answers all of the questions of what the little fucking sprite dudes are that are running around. Oh, dude, you have to. Oh, you're gonna give me like fucking PTSD thinking about this shit. It's so amazing. You have to play the DLC.
I'll play with the DLC.
You have to. It answers everything, and your mind will be absolutely blown to bits.
There's so many cool games like that just have like crazy end. I remember the Dying Light DLC was really good, and I'm not really a zombie game fan.
Mm-hmm.
Dying Light 1 ending is like, okay, cool. It ends I expect it to end. Spoilers.
Oh.
But then the DLC is just like, nah, here's the real ending. And then it's like,
boy.
What?
Okay,
which I love that.
We're talking about games now. We have to talk about the game that you've been playing, that the nations have been playing. Elden Ring, man. Are you a fucking Elden Lord already, or what?
Do you know what? I've not completed it yet because I've been doing absolutely everything on it. And like, I absolutely adore it. It kicks my ass, and I love it.
I've heard a lot of really good things about it, but then I've also I watched Donkey's review on it, and it made me not want to play it, to be honest. You know, there's some things that I've heard from, you know, just generic people that haven't played the other Souls game that are really enjoying Elden Ring, that gave me a lot of confidence and went, you know what, okay, I could play this game. But then you know, I saw Donkey's review, and he's like, this game is not balanced. It's fucking broken. There's terrible characters that will kill you in one ridiculous hit, and it's so frustrating that I'm like, oof, okay. So basically what Donkey said was, this game isn't fair. It gets so ridiculously difficult, it's not even fair.
There is some crazy enemies that are like ridiculously hard, and you get like no souls, and you're like... But no, I think it's still... It has a lot more options than any other Dark Souls game, and at the end of the day, if you follow a guide, you follow a guide. Like,
for me, I can't do it. Those are the games I don't want to play. I don't want to follow a build guide. I want to be able to go into a game, make a shitty fucking build that doesn't matter. I can just put my points wherever the fuck I want and still be able to beat the game. That's what you've done?
Yeah, I've just built like a knight, and I've just been doing whatever they want, and then I have like a separate save file to have a little test around with the new stuff.
Yep.
But yeah, the reason I've got everything is just because I've been doing everything, because I find it fun, and I've seen like loads of videos where it's like, kill all the bosses in one hit, which is crazy. It shows how like many combinations there are in this game.
Right.
That you can turn around and now kill a boss in one hit.
It's absurd.
There's like literally like a magic laser beam. It's like a Goku Kamehameha. You just go...
I've seen that.
Absolutely insane. I think that's one of the upsides of it as well, is with the bosses as well. Like, if you're new to the game and you're very casual, there is like a summon system where you can summon someone to help you.
Right.
And it's very fun to explore the world as well. Like, most of the world is available to you.
Yep.
And I've the other day there was an area which I thought you had to defeat a boss to get to it, and it turns out it's just like a side path. Like that thin, you go there and you get the whole area.
And you don't even have to fight this boss to get to it.
Yeah.
Just takes a little bit of exploring.
Yeah, it is a little bit unbalanced with the characters, enemies though.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's always tough to decide, because I'm not afraid of a challenge. Mm-hmm. I've said this many times before, but I beat Cuphead. That's like one of my biggest fucking points of pride, because I'm like, you know what? This tells people I ain't scared, okay? I ain't fucking scared.
Ghouls and Goblins next, though. That's what I'm trying to do, and it's kicking my ass.
What's that, Cuphead?
Ghouls and Goblins. Oh. Ghosts and Ghouls?
Ghosts and Goblins and Ghouls. Ghouls and...
Yeah, that's it.
I don't know, I'm just making shit up.
Do you know the old game where you're the knight and you throw the...
Oh, is this a retro game?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, no, I don't know what you're talking about.
It's complete that. I've been trying to for years, and I've never come close to it.
Have you beat Earthworm Jim?
No.
I've never beat I think her name's Queen Bee. What's her name? What's the queen's name? I've never beat her.
I remember remember little bits of Earthworm Jim like on TV and stuff, but I don't remember.
Oh, dude, you don't have Earthworm Jim in your retro gaming collection?
No, I have James Pond though.
James Pond?
Yeah, it's a Game Boy game. I'm just like looking now. I'm trying to see what James Pond. It's like a. If you ever get a chance, look at a photo of it. It's just literally a rip off of James Bond. He's even doing the pose of the.
That's
I've not got a
hilarious.
picture for it, but yeah, I'm looking at my retro games. That's something worth showing.
All right, what's your favorite game of all time? Let's go.
Super Mario Sunshine.
Super Mario what?
Sunshine.
Sunshine? Never even played it. What's it for?
You need to play Sunshine. If it's not Super Mario Sunshine, then it is Zelda Majora's Mask.
Oh, what's Sunshine for? What console?
GameCube.
Oh, that's why. I never played GameCube.
Well, it's been re-released on Switch now, alongside with Galaxy and 64 on like one cartridge.
Man, I need to get a Switch. I need to get one.
They are really cool. They're good. You know, we were speaking about indie games. They're good for indie games. I'm just trying to put all the boxes back, so I don't just put a drink on them or something.
Yeah, put that shit back, dude. Yeah, the Switch is great for indie games. It's like Steam, you know what I was saying, like these indie developers coming out with games, and the Switch always has a lot of good games. Like Street Cleaners video game is on Switch, and that's super rad. And I would like to play Switch because I want to play all the old games, but I also have an N64. I want to play the new games. I want to play the new Marios that I never got to play, and I want to play Breath of the Wild, because people pretty much talk about Breath of the Wild like it's the best game of all fucking time.
I've been a Zelda fan for since I was a kid, and Breath of the Wild, even though I love Majora's Mask, Breath of the Wild is the game I've played the most of. Yeah. The only reason I like Majora's Mask so much is probably just nostalgia at this point, because
that's fair, man. I mean, nostalgia has a big impact on what you like, for sure, and makes. Even if you don't want to play it now, you still view it in the same way that you viewed it. I pretty much played N64, and then our next console was a Dreamcast. Sega Dreamcast.
Oh, the Dreamcast has so many games I love on it.
It's an incredible console.
I love the shit out of Dreamcasts. And my favorite is Jet Set Radio.
Jet Set Radio is a great game. I love playing that game. I love playing Dynamite Cop. It was like an arcade game. Fucking awesome game. Toy Commander. What, sorry?
Sonic Adventure as well. The music.
Sonic.
And, running around the city. And then they did the Chow Garden where you could take care of chows. And it was like.
Yep.
It should be lame, but it isn't, because it's just sick.
What's the villain's name?
Dr. Eggman.
It's Eggman?
Oh yeah, it's Robotnik, but Sonic calls him Eggman because he looks like an egg.
I feel like I kind of harness the Eggman vibe, to be honest. I'm not gonna lie here.
Halloween, if you get some glasses, you could definitely killer.
The small round ones.
Yeah, you should do that for Halloween. With your tash, you'd do a killer Eggman. That'd be ace.
I mean, this is curled right now. If I just let this buck, it's like it just explodes out everywhere. So
you got it.
Yeah, I could rock an Eggman.
Should definitely do it. It'd be ace.
Hell yeah. So I mean, with your love of all these little physical things, is that why you wanted to create physical formats for your music?
Definitely, yeah. I love collecting stuff, and I collect cassettes of other synthwave artists as well. And I think when I finally get to make it, it's imagine being able to customize something you collect. So that's why with all the different releases, I've done different things. Forever Drifting was on blue. Cosmic Calamity is all over print. New Vessel's all over print as well, but turquoise. Aeon Integrate is see-through, but has the printing on it. And I think it's definitely the reason why I want to get physical. I definitely want to do vinyl because I'm a massive vinyl collecting fan.
Yeah. Do you have a record player that you play all your vinyl on? Yeah.
Yeah, I love my vinyl. Actually, my first vinyl was Far Cry Blood Dragon.
Oh, that's sick. That's a good vinyl.
Yeah,
I just actually bought my first ever vinyl.
What'd you get?
I wanted to support the Paradise Arcade Boys. They do a wicked podcast. I'm not sure if you're familiar with them, but yeah, Paradise Arcade, awesome. Kyle and Eric, they're super rad dudes. They started a vinyl company called Cryptogem, and it's also with synthwave artist North Innsbruck, and they released their first vinyl, Moonrise by Baldocaster, which is a sick album.
Oh, no way. Really?
Yeah. So I got that, and then I've never purchased vinyl before, so I don't have anything to play it on. I'm just gonna frame it and put it on the wall because I don't want to go down the rabbit's hole of buying a record player, and then now I'm in the wormhole of buying vinyl for everything. But then shortly after I bought that, I bought another vinyl because I couldn't pass it up, dude. It was fucking Bloodsport.
Oh yeah. No, to be fair, with like you said when you had the VHSs on your wall, that would look sick in a frame as well.
Oh, it's definitely getting framed. Yeah, I got Bloodsport. It's the original OST by Paul Herzog. Incredible. I love him as a composer. He does some of my favorite soundtracks. So, vinyl like that, I'll buy 100%.
Yeah.
And then I'll frame it. I won't even ever play it.
Lots of vinyl I buy is actually from synthwave artists because I'd really like these albums, and then when I'm looking at them, it's like I might not be able to get this again on vinyl.
That's the thing. They get you with the fucking, exclusivity.
Yeah, definitely.
That's how they get you. And that's what I loved about your release of Aeon Intergrade. You're like, hey, everyone can get this. This is a pre-order.
Yeah.
And I appreciate that because, it takes away that exclusivity of, hey, there's only 100. If you don't buy this, it's gone forever. And that, as much as I do understand that, it sucks in a way because sometimes people don't have the money to buy stuff.
Yeah, someone emailed me, and we found a couple spare. So there is some people who, because we didn't expect it to sell out. I didn't expect it to sell out. Like, Forever Drifting took a few weeks, and that I also played a few shows at the time, so I was like, oh, that probably helped with the sales. And then when I said, oh, it's going to be a pre-order so everyone can get it, it eventually just got to a point where it sold, and it actually just sold out.
That's awesome, man.
It's insane. It was really. I'm really grateful for it, and I'm really grateful for everyone that bought one, and I hope they really enjoy it because I put a lot of effort into it because I also I had a lot of different artwork, so I had a lot to work with this cassette. And there's nothing better than getting a cassette and looking at the sleeve and seeing cool art, especially on the inside. And
I love that.
Is it? Sorry, I keep going into like tangents. But yeah.
Don't be sorry, man. That's what we're fucking talking for. I want you to talk more than me. I mean, you're more interesting than I am, so. The thing I love about vinyl is that you're able to frame it. You have this large scale artwork that you could just put on your wall. Whereas a cassette, I'm a bigger fan of cassette tapes. I don't know why. I love them. I love putting them in and playing them. But the J card is really small. So in order for me to frame, some cassette artwork, I have to put like fucking 20 cassette tapes together, all the J cards together.
The best one is when you get a vinyl, you open it, and it's like freebies they didn't know about.
Oh, yeah? I don't know what you're talking about, because I've never gotten a vinyl.
The Carpenter Brut Tour vinyl for Leatherteeth, I opened it, and it had a print in it. And then it had a guitar pick as well.
Oh, rad. I see that guitar behind you. Do you play guitar?
I'm learning, yeah, because I want to extend my music, so I've been learning guitar at the moment, and it's going all right. I've always been more of a keyboard player, but I'm really enjoying learning it.
Yep.
I'm really enjoying learning it. It's very early stages.
Hey, man, that's fair. You start somewhere and you got it and you're playing it. That's what matters.
Yeah, and eventually I want to bring it into a release, but maybe one day me and another guitarist will be dual shredding or something. But not
play Wonderwall.
That's literally what it's like at like every place in the UK when someone has a guitar.
When someone pulls a guitar out. Play Wonderwall. Shut the fuck up. That's
Literally.
actually what I love about Wayne's World is when he starts playing Stairway. No, Stairway.
Sign, and he goes, bummer.
Oh man, I haven't actually seen Wayne's World in so fucking long, and I've been wanting to bring up your hat since you've been on camera. I love that movie. It is one of the best movies.
I love both of them, to be fair. Like, I think they're both ace. I've recently, it's gone under my radar. I've never seen it before, but I recently found out about Spinal Tap. I've never seen that film, and I watched a few clips, and I was like, that's another film in like a similar vein I really want to watch. It's more of a mockumentary, but
I don't know if I've seen that.
it's like from what I know, it's like a mockumentary on like a hair metal band.
Well, Spinal Tap is an actual band, is it not? I'm pretty sure Spinal Tap is a real band.
I don't know. They might have made a comedy film. You know what I mean? There's a few bands like there's a few bands that have done that. They've done films, or they've just unless it's from the film, which would be pretty cool.
There's that one movie Airheads. Yeah, Spinal Tap is a film series. It says. No, it says band. It says band. Okay, I thought it was a band before. It's like 80s hair metal, but no, it's a fictional English heavy metal band created by American comedians and musicians Michael McKean, Christopher Guest, and Harry Shearer. They're characterized as one of England's loudest bands. I actually thought that was a real band. So that's pretty funny.
There you go. They sold it. Even though it's a documentary, they sold the band. Yeah, I need to watch it because it looks really, really cool. But there's something for us both to watch.
Totally. Let's watch Spinal Tap and have a review
on
it.
UK, to be fair, there's a lot of bands that I like from the UK. At the moment, I found out Liverpool's not too far from me, and I found out like one of my favourite metal bands at the moment is just from Liverpool.
Who's that?
Loathe, they're called.
Loathe?
Yeah, they've gone a bit more deftonesy. I don't know how to explain deftones in a
That's a good adjective.
Yeah, exactly. Deftonesy.
Deftonesy.
But then they're recently they got into my radar, and then I just played everything. They even released an ambient album, which was really good.
Nice.
No drops at all. There's even saxophone.
Whoa. In metal?
So yeah, they released an album, and it has like some of the filthiest riffs I've ever heard. And the album after it's just a really nice ambient album.
Oh, that's cool.
With some saxophone and no lyrics. It's just ambience.
Who's your favorite metal band?
Me being like a 15-year-old child, it's still Bring Me the Horizon.
What about as a fucking 20-something-year-old adult? Who's your favorite metal band now?
Probably. That's hard because I'm one of those people that has like a lot of genres that they like. I really love Brand of Sacrifice and Within Destruction. I like Health a lot, but I don't know if they're metal or industrial metal, or I think they're just Health.
Yeah, that's a hard one. Fuck. You know, you say something, you're gonna piss someone off. You say something else, you're gonna piss someone else off. So
I like Carnifex as well. It's such a hard question, favorites. It's just because there's just so many cool ones, and there's so many different sounds.
Yeah. Lamb of God for me, hands down.
Lamb of God. Did you hear their song with Health recently?
Yes, I did. That's a fucking
really crazy combo. I love when it was really fast metal, but then like the lead singer was just singing so slowly over it. It sounded amazing.
Mm-hmm.
It was such a combo which I just didn't expect. But then 9 Inch Nails are on the same album now as well, so it's like I would never have thought Health, Lamb of God, and 9 Inch Nails would just be on one release.
Yeah, no doubt.
Lamb of God, I remember my mate had a vinyl of, and he played it so much that it just stopped working. It was a clear Lamb of God vinyl, and when I used to go around his, it was just always on.
Yeah.
And it doesn't work now. And it's one of my first CDs was Lamb of God as well, because I went on it was like, oh, Bring Me the Horizon, Korn, Slipknot, a bit of Rob Zombie, and then it was just like Black Tongue. I went from like one extreme to the other, and then Black Tongue, Lamb of God, and then a little bit of Suicide Silence, but Yeah, metal was like weird one for me because I just went straight to
Yeah.
like, the heavy stuff.
That seems like
A
what
lot
it
of
usually is. You know, you have a little bit of an introduction. For me, it was Killswitch Engage. They're the ones who brought me into metal. And it's actually interesting because, you know, I listened to their later stuff. And then as I got into heavier metal, I listened to their earlier stuff with like
yeah,
Soilborn, and their original, like their first album is way fucking heavier than their newer
yeah.
shit. But oh man, I love Killswitch Engage, and they're still one of my favorite bands. Lamb of God, Mastodon. I'm a huge metal fan.
Mastodon are just. I remember I discovered them from their artworks because they are
Yep,
just insane.
insane artwork.
There's a few good newer bands. I know Gojira isn't new now, but compared
Oh,
to these bands, there's still more.
Gojira's
The
wicked.
J metal scene is very crazy as well.
Like
Like
Japanese metal.
yeah, Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. Oh, drop my keyboard. Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas are one of the craziest bands I've ever heard.
Yeah, I've
Obviously, you got
never heard
Baby
them.
Metal. You've got Sim now, which do the. They've done songs on Yakuza. They did the Attack on Titan intro now as well for the final season. And
Oh
when I
yeah,
heard it, the gutturals, I was like, ah. For a final season, having like pure gutturals and naughty riffs is like that's like just a successful final season right there.
no doubt.
They know
That's
like the
wicked.
show's ending. They're just gonna go all out and make it like metal.
Totally. That's
So
rad.
yeah,
That's a genre I've never even like fucking touched on. Is J metal? Is that what you called it?
yeah. That's what people have said to me what it's called. But
I mean, it
yeah,
makes sense. Like JRPGs, J metal. I knew
yeah.
exactly what you meant when you said it. I hadn't heard of it before.
I'll have to send a few bands over. There's some really really mad ideas. Like I think Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas mix like trance, hard style, and that with like there's even like some black metal drops. I think black metal is the right term.
Yep. Who knows?
Who
Someone's
knows?
gonna be upset.
Metal drums anymore.
People genres are such a fucking weird thing, man, because
Yeah, because
people
like
get all upset if you call something one thing and then they think it's something else.
yeah, it's like dark synth. Dark synth is such a big spectrum.
Yeah, it is a huge spectrum because dark synth is like, okay, so are you saying that cyberpunk and horror synth and all of this shit is within the umbrella of dark synth, but then they also have their own umbrella? You know, it's like,
Yeah, exactly. Like there's some really crazy artists out there that even like mix the metal elements, like actual metal, like Dav Dralian and Irving Force. The two
mhm.
that come to mind are just absolutely like crazy, and like and when fans associate them, they're in the dark synth umbrella.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
They're
hard. I don't even know, like, I don't know what I call that metal synth.
yeah, yeah.
It-
To be fair, that is like a genre I want more of. Because after Dav Tralian's last album, I was just like, I need more.
Oh, dude, you're talking to the right person if you're into the metal synth. This is like my favorite genre because I came from metal before I listened to synthwave, and then you know, I got into Carpenter Brute was the first. Actually, if you're going way back, then Mega Drive was the first ever synth I ever listened to.
Mega Drive's awesome though. Mega Drive was one of the first I
So
heard as
good,
well.
dude.
Yeah.
And then after that, I was introduced to Carpenter Brute, Gunship, and the Midnight. And then after those, I went down the rabbit hole of synthwave into dark synth, and now I'm all about metal synth. I want
Yeah.
Dav Dralian, Coffin Dragger, Ultra Killer. Like, I've been going through the fucking wormhole of finding the heaviest synth with metal that I can find, and I love it. I love that blend. It's my favorite blend.
Did you hear Minor Mask's metal synth track we did?
Which one?
Duality of Man.
Is it on Cosmic Calamity?
Yeah, the
Definitely then. Yeah.
that track was so fun to make. Because I did the big you know, the crazy riff, the synth riff.
I have to listen to it again. I can't say I know
Oh,
offhand.
I wrote like a crazy riff for that, and that's some of the most fun I've ever had is writing that because with metal you can go so over the top as well, and it's
Right.
like people love it. The crazier you go, the people love it more.
Yeah, totally.
Well,
That's
some.
like Yeah, you hit your target audience, right?
Yeah, there's some people like just like the same thing, and there's some people who just like, I'm gonna make this stupidly heavy for no reason other than just to flex. I can go this heavy.
That's pretty much what I think of when I listen to like Dav Jolly and like Fall of Man. Like that
Crazy.
that entire album, you put it on to start and it's like ultra mass crucifixion and it fucking melts your face immediately. It's just like starts.
Yeah, it's like a level of face melting. And
Yeah.
whenever I work, actually, whenever I am on a deadline for work, I stick Fall of Man on, Prodigy, Doom music, and it's
Oh,
just
yeah.
it's anything that's just. I'm trying to think of any more. I was gonna say, I've already mentioned Irving Force, but his new EP as well is just like the pure metal drops on some of them is like whoa, whoa,
Dude, Irving Force has such a unique sound.
it's awesome, absolutely
It's
awesome.
so good, and I only recently was turned on to it. I bought his cassette tape. Fucking what's the album called? Shit.
Oh, God Mode.
God Mode.
Yeah. Do you know what?
Insane,
Do you know what?
insane. That whole album, dude. Those sounds, they're so unique to him. I've never heard someone making synthwave that sounds like that, and I was fucking blown away. Actually, I first heard it on the 80s guy. So shout out, man, for making that what was that track? Highway Superstar
Ultra Highway,
Incursion or
yeah.
Fuck, I can't remember.
That's one that has the big Mega Drive bass drop, isn't it? It's like down, 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 down. It's like whoa.
Yeah.
It's like he uses it as a guitar. And do you know
Dude,
what I was going to mention? That we mentioned RoboCop. The whole thing sounds like a sick RoboCop soundtrack, especially the
man.
really atmospheric-ish intro.
Yeah, and he has just like 4 minutes of this ambience to these insane drops that have this really unique sound that I hadn't heard before. And I love that with synthwave. There's so many different sounds that people create that are so unique. You're like, I've never heard this before, you know? It's just so rad. It's such a cool thing.
Yeah, it's awesome. There's so many. Do you know what though? I could be here for hours just speaking about different artists and what I love and imagery they use. It's just such a cool genre for that as well because some people branch out of it and it's fine because I know Ghost, he branched out from dark synth more into the metal scene, but he still has these like crazy synthwave albums where he still mixed all this stuff together and still.
Totally.
And even Carpenter going more vocal now. Well, I don't know if his whole album's vocal because it's not out yet, but the 2 latest singles were crazy and they were really fun.
That last track with Alex Westaway from Gunship. Oh man, the Widowmaker, that was a wicked track.
And did you see who was in the music video?
Yeah, I can't remember his name. He's an actor though. What?
Yeah, he's the kid out of Big Daddy as well.
No way, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's mad that, isn't it? He's one of the kids on Sweet Life of Zack and Cody, like an old like Disney show, which are all nice and thingy, and now he's like on a screen murdering someone.
Yeah, like multiple people. I love the confetti.
Yeah, I love
when he
the
stabs
disco
people.
style.
It's just like confetti shoots
The
up every
disco
time.
style is so cool.
Oh yeah, dude, that's awesome.
Thing is, that could be a TV show. That I would watch that.
Yeah, man. It's
Oh,
well done. I love the highly produced music videos and the effort put in. But the tough part there is it's all capital, you know? It's all money that you got to put into it. And
yeah.
it's tough for everyone to make that type of shit.
Yeah. I think that eventually we're going to try and do a music video. It's just figuring out what we want, how we're going to do it and all that. And it's, there's a lot that goes into music videos and
Oh, yeah.
what makes them good and what makes them cool. And you also want to stand out because there's
Totally.
a million music videos out there.
Man, one of my favorites that's been of recent or of late is Wave Shaper's Phantom Machine. His music video was incredible.
I've not seen any music videos for Wave Shaper.
Oh, dude, yeah.
Massive fan of Wave Shaper's stuff. I love it.
Yeah, check out the Phantom Machine and check out Client. You know, that Client almost made me fucking cry. It's such a good music video.
I'll watch them tonight. I've actually got a vinyl of it. It's not even signed to my name because my label owner thought it'd be funny.
That he missigned it?
My name's not Harold. but everyone calls me that as a nickname. So he's like, I got you this Wave Shaper vinyl. I was like, oh my god, it's signed. He goes, check it. It says, to Harold. I was like, ah. But
Fuck.
It's awesome, though.
You're like, call me Harold. Call me whatever you want, Wave Shaper.
I know. I missed that show as well. I should have been there. I was like, I could have met Wave Shaper.
Yeah, here. You know what I'm gonna do? We're gonna play a new track. So this will be the way that I can edit it quickly. Is I'll see the video playing of the next track. So we're going to play your track Serenity featuring Draven off of Aeon Integrate. Let's fucking go. Man, that
That
track.
music was well cool. Oh, sorry, I interrupted you there. Stop. Sorry, the
No,
music
dude.
video was insane.
That's probably the most fun I've had in making a video. The Warhammer visuals were so fucking good, and you know what? I can see one of the Warhammer models that you've painted behind you. And that was why I
Oh,
chose Warhammer, dude, was because
yeah.
I was trying to find some good visuals for you, and in my search I was like, I don't really know a lot about anime. I used Gundam because you told me that was one of your favorites. I couldn't really
Yeah.
find something I liked from Evangelion. So
That's a
I
hard. There's
yeah.
limited scenes. Alien.
Yeah, and there's a lot of just like talking and stuff in Evangelion, not like a ton of action. I would have had to put a whole bunch together, and then I stumbled across some Warhammer visuals, and I'm like, okay, these are good. I can make something work with this. And then I put Serenity to it, and I was like, holy fuck, this
It works.
works.
I was surprised.
This works. So yeah, man.
It's weird seeing my music next to something so evil as well,
Oh
which is
yeah.
very evil and very cool though.
Yeah, and that track is, I mean, with Draven, it's the most evil shit that I've heard you've done. So I
Oh,
had to put that to some dark ass fucking Warhammer imagery.
yeah, yeah. When we made that, we were both just so hyped for the kit. Once we finished it, we were just like, "What have we just made?"
Dude, it's so sick. And I loved hearing something that is so dark from you. It was way darker than anything I've heard you make. Like even Cosmic Calamity didn't really touch on that same level of evil, you know? And this track just it was evil and I loved it.
Thank you, thank you.
What are you working on now? What's happening in the world of Aeronexus now? That album wasn't too long ago. You released that what February?
Yeah, well, because we released so many singles, the album's done for a few months. So I had about five months producing time when the album was done. Then we're getting artworks and stuff and releasing music. So I've actually been working on a new album, but it's like I end up. It's weird. I had loads of demos and I literally cut all of them but two,
Oh,
and I keep making all these demos and none of them stick, and it's like one in every like 10 demos. I'm like, oh, look, this one's worth it. So I've got about. It's not going to be released for a long time because I want to learn a lot of new tricks and I want to explore a lot of new sounds, and there's a lot I want to work with, like new instruments and all that. So I think it's going to be a long journey, this one, but I know what I want to make now. If that makes more sense, then yeah.
totally, man. And that's awesome to have direction. Do you have any little tidbits you can feed me here on the direction you're going with on this new album?
Um,
Is it going to be similar to Aeon Integrate or more like your older stuff, New Vessel, or is it going to be a blend of the two?
still gonna be hard hitting and fast. It's just gonna have a lot more variety to it than just fast songs. Like maybe there's like slower moments. There's actually in one of the songs there's something that's near enough a metal drop, but I don't really want to go too much. That's more of a surprise.
Ooh.
Yeah, no, I know. I finally just let it loose on that one. But it's like Aeon Integrate, but now I want to expand into new sounds, slower sounds. Even there's a song that's faster than Final Flight at one point. And yeah, I think it's time to evolve my sound and take it to a new level where it's got more emotional depth to it. It's angrier, it's happier, it's sad. It's just more everything. And then condense that into an all killer, no filler album, hopefully.
Hell yeah. Any particular inspiration you're drawing for this album?
I've been watching a lot of just really super violent anime, and that really inspires me to do stuff. I actually really have been listening to a lot of Justice, Daft Punk, Sebastian, a lot of Gustaffelstein as well. I've been listening to a lot of new music as well, which is opening my horizons to newer sounds. I really like mid tempo at the moment. That's really good.
Mm-hmm.
There's like this weird mix of shoegaze and deathcore that's going around, which is really strange. And that's more like the Deftony sound stuff. And I think time will tell what it'll turn into. But right now, I'm just really enjoying now I know how to make this sound. Where can I take it?
Right. Hell yeah, man. I'm looking forward to hearing some of this upcoming Aeronexus. But
Thank you.
it'll be here when it's here. Live shows. I know you've played live shows in the past. You got anything coming up that you're looking forward to?
Yeah, I'm playing next to Dan Terminus, Cassetta, and LeBrock. You might have to check if that one's been announced. I know, I'm terrible. I'm terrible. That one is in April, and Dan Terminus is one of my favorite artists ever. So it's a really crazy. I'm really super nervous and I'm super giddy to play it. That's my only show at the moment I know of that I've got coming up, and yeah, I'm so excited for it.
That's right, man.
So cool.
What is your live? Sorry, go ahead. Keep talking. Sorry.
Oh, sorry, I was about to say it's just cool to meet everybody in the scene and meet other artists.
Totally. That's how collaborations start, man.
Yeah.
Get your name in their mouths and hell yeah. You can get that Dan Terminus collaboration.
That'd be insane. Dual panpipes.
Dual panpipes, super fast paced, fucking glitchy digital mayhem. I love it.
That'd be insane. He has some crazy, crazy sounds. Every album for him's even different, and I don't know how he makes them.
Yeah, they're insane.
It's actually otherworldly music in like the best way possible.
Yeah, it's totally weird mayhem. I don't even know how you describe Dan Terminus, to be honest. I can't even give any good adjectives to describe him. Yeah, it's Dan Terminus.
Yeah.
Can you give me your best Arnold Schwarzenegger impersonation? You can say anything. You can say a fucking Arnold Schwarzenegger quote, or you can just try and talk like him. Let's hear it. Let's hear your best.
Well, it's been on the internet forever. Okay. I can do the sound he does.
Start with that. Let's go with that.
Oh my god, man. This sucks. I hate stuff like this, but I wanna participate. Okay. No, fuck that. I'm not doing it anymore.
That was good. That was a good start. Keep going. I believe in you, man. You can just talk like Arnold. You don't have to say anything. It doesn't have to be good. Come on, do it. Do it now.
Oh, I'm on the spot. What's that?
I believe in you.
I don't know. Get. Oh, I can't do it. How do you do that?
You can.
Get to the chopper. That's my best impression. That's my best impression.
Not bad. We'll take it, man.
Oh god. What's other? Oh, that's on the internet forever now.
Yeah, I'm gonna clip that exact moment and just replay it.
Once you've got like a full season's worth of podcasts, you should definitely do like a super cut of everyone's Arnie impressions.
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, it depends how much people give me. That was pretty short. I need a little bit more. Can you give me a little bit more? Yeah.
I don't know many. What's like a good Arnie quote?
You could just make one up, man. You could talk about anything. You could talk about Street Fighter. Yeah, the Champion Edition Street Fighter. Come on, I'm Ryu. I'm gonna punch you Hadouken in your face. Come on. You could do yelling Arnold, or you could just do it's fantastic. You know, I've been playing Street Fighter. I'm Ryu. We're fighting Ken. You know, we're just walking. We're punching. We're kicking. I don't know. I'm just.
That's a really good impression. Oh, okay.
I'm just making shit up.
Let me think of something amusing at least.
It's tough. It's on the spot. I know. I'm looking
around my room trying to talk about something.
That's all I was doing. I was just looking at your room. Yeah, the Warhammer 40K. You know, you've got the big wings.
I was about to go. I'm trying to think how to say it. It's like getting the first bit out and then.
Yeah.
I painted the Warhammer. I play Legend of... That's not even Nani.
It's, you know what? You started with and you ended with and everyone gets it. That's Arnold.
What, dude?
That's it. That's all you need to do.
Zelda boxes, the booklet. I can't do it. It's such a good voice, but I can't do it. It's such...
You gave it your best, and I appreciate it. It's gonna make the supercut whenever it comes. 100%. Okay, man. I appreciate you having you on here and shooting the shit, talking games and music and what's coming up for you. Let people know where they can find you. Where are you at?
I'm on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, all under Aeronexus or the Aeronexus, because someone's nicked my username. And I'm on Spotify and all major streaming platforms, and I'm on Bandcamp as well.
Oh yeah, and you have your own Discord server. If anyone wants to join, Starship Supernova, reach out. I can get you the invite link too.
Yeah, that's on my link tree as well. So it's, if people can't find it, it's all over my socials as well. And you can come and do what the other members do and bully me. And I'll be bullied about my Arnie impression, definitely.
Yeah, when this gets out, maybe. I don't know. I appreciate it. I think you gave it a solid effort, man. That's all that can be asked.
Thank you. But yeah, no, thanks for having me on.
Appreciate it, man. Until next time.
See you next time. See you in a bit.
Hey, before you get out of here, make sure you head over and follow Aeronexus on all his socials. Bully him in his Discord for his Arnold impersonation or whatever other people bully him for in there. Maybe don't do that. Don't bully him. Go tell him how fucking awesome he is and how rad his music is and how he's a sweet fucking human being. How about that? But do it in your own words. And go buy all his music on Bandcamp. Stream it where you listen to music. He deserves your support. His music is fucking awesome. Support him. And as always, be well.